my name is Nathalia Jackson, reporting from KidsFirst, and in a moment, I'll be speaking with the director, Isabella Blake-Thomas, and the two lead characters in the short film Unseen. Unseen puts the horror of human trafficking in the spotlight, based off true events in Utah. 71% of labor victims are brought to the U.S. by plane, and the average age a teen enters the U.S. sex trade will be 12 to 14 years old. Please, parents, inform yourselves and your children, because this can happen to anybody. Stay tuned.
Hello, my name is Nathalia Jackson, reporting from KidsFirst, and I am here with Isabella Blake-Thomas, who plays Jenny, one of the lead characters in the short film Unseen, which is a must-see for every parent, teen, and child who uses social media, because child trafficking can literally happen to anyone. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. That's great to hear, and thank you so much for asking. I have to say, it is simply a great idea with your daughter-mother entertainment, simply inspiring. How did that come across your mind?
Well, I think with mother and daughter that I have such a great relationship with my mum, and we both love film so much that it was kind of a why not? And it's the best way for us really to put out our content in the best way that we know how.
Interesting. And along with that, what does this short film Unseen mean to you?
It means a lot, especially because I am the age that a lot of kids get abducted at. And to be able to see that it really can, like you said, happen to anyone, it's heartbreaking. So it definitely means a lot in that sense.
I agree. I mean, a simple social media mistake led Carly, which is the main character played by Ryan Nicole Brown, to never to be seen again. And sadly, we have to watch out for our surroundings because now in our society, that's kind of how we have to live. And it's sad to have to grow up like that, but unfortunately, that's what we have to grow up like. And to continue, I know that you sing the songs in this film. I mean, really went heart to heart with what the message was trying to be received by. What was like the challenge about creating the lyrics?
I think my music is very personal to me, so a lot of the time I write about the emotions that I'm feeling, and so specifically I was glad that my songs did work with the movie and they did resonate, and I'm glad that the message was able to be made even stronger through my music.
And can you describe your character Jenny for us, who is Carly's best friend in the film?
For sure. Jenny is a very interesting teen to have played. She has a parent who doesn't really care about her, so she's kind of stuck figuring things out on her own. I think she definitely struggles with guilt throughout the movie because it was her idea and she helped convince Carly to go on this interview where she actually ended up getting abducted. And so she has to deal with a lot of guilt in the end about that decision she made.
There were, I agree, a lot of feelings towards the end of the film, how you felt a lot of guilt and you didn't realize what you put your best friend into the situation, and you were kind of a little shocked and kind of worried, but also, as you said before, you have a parent that didn't really care about you, so you kind of felt like you can have a slide, but then towards the end of the film, you kind of realize, whoa, I might not ever get to see my best friend anymore, which was very powerful, meaningful, and definitely was very believable. So thank you for doing that for me. It really opened my eyes. And I also want to ask you, what was it like working with Isabella? Oh my God. Oh, you're Isabella.
I'm Isabella, but you're all
Oh gosh. How was it like working with your mom, Elizabeth, and also Ryan?
It was a fabulous experience working with Ryan and my mum. Ryan is just a delight to have on set, and she is such an incredible actress, and she is also a musician, so she is just all-round talented, so I'm thrilled to have been able to be in her presence, as it were. I love working with my mum. I've worked with her quite a bunch on lots of different projects, and we just gel together. We're such a great team that she doesn't even have to speak, and I already know what she's thinking.
Oh, what kind words. What challenge did you come across taking on this role?
I'd say the challenge of learning how this can happen to anyone, and it's an interesting thing to look at because learning that this story is so prominent in our day-to-day society without even realizing it. Like, you could be walking past someone on the street and they could be a trafficker or someone who has been trafficked or someone who is about to be trafficked, and that's really scary, especially in this day and age. So it was definitely a challenge to learn that can happen, because you always think it's so distant from you, but it's really not.
Yeah, related to that, what advice would you give to teens and young children and basically everybody on social media who spends their day-to-day life on it, not knowing what they're posting could be a consequence?
My advice would be to just be conscious and be careful of what you're posting and who you're following and who you're messaging, because it's tough to have to do this, but it is, especially in this day and age, very important that we are mindful of what we're doing and what our friends are doing, and if you're an adult, what your kids are doing. And it's very much about starting that conversation.
Thank you so much for sharing those words with me. And thank you, Isabella, for letting me in on some of the juice on set. It was so much fun getting to speak with you. And I hope you guys can all check out the short film Unseen and her character Jenny, as well as the other character Carly. Thank you once again, and it was great to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Stay tuned. Hello, I'm Nathalia Jackson, reporter from KidsFirst, and currently beside me is Cindy Cowan, who's the executive producer of the short film Unseen. How are you?
I'm really great. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, and I'm doing fantastic, and that's great to hear. There's no reason not to be fantastic. Yeah, and what does this short film mean to you?
It means a lot. I'm a big proponent of charities that support awareness for sex trafficking. And so to be involved with a film like this and to support friends of mine such as Elizabeth and Isabella and Ryan is everything. That's what this business is about, trying to make films that spark conversation and interest and awareness.
Well, it definitely sparked a conversation between me and my mom, because my mom has always taught me to watch out for my surroundings and make sure that I feel safe in my environment. And so this film really sent a powerful message and meaningful, especially for me, because at my age I don't get to see all of those short films, and most of the time watching Disney or something. But this really gave me a spark in my mind, thinking about what realistically can happen, thinking that I'm perfectly fine on social media when most of the time I don't discover the consequences of what can happen by just believing anything that I see, which really you can't always believe what you see in your eyes. And along with that, I've always been interested in knowing what really sparked the light in you wanting to be an executive producer.
Well, I produce and I executive produce, and nowadays anything to get a story made and told. I would PA, I would do anything that people want on sets. I just think storytelling is so important, especially nowadays when people are going through all different facets of their life. And sometimes to be able to sit in front of a TV or go to a theater and have escapism, whether it's to connect with a character or learn about something you never knew about, or just to go into a world of fantasy, it's important and it's exciting, and it's something that I'm just passionate about.
That's interesting and very fascinating. Along with that, what advice would you give to teens and young children out there, even adults, who spend their day-to-day life on social media?
Get off. Look, social media is interesting and not. The good thing about social media is you can get awareness out there of things that you might not have been able to do in the past. The bad thing about social media, especially for teens, is I think they're spending too much time living on their phones and not enough time living in the present. Sometimes, it's fine to take a picture, but then put the phone down. And don't compare yourself to others. The bad thing about social media, too, is people don't realize that half the things they see on there are not what they appear to be. And that's scary. So nowadays you see things like suicide rates going up, and depression becoming higher, and that's because people are comparing themselves to these lives that they think others are living, when the truth of the matter is those people can be just as depressed as the person that's actually comparing themselves. So I don't know, I'm very mixed with social media. We use it, obviously, to get awareness out. We'll use social media to get awareness out of a film such as this. But I have a very mixed bag with it. Those that don't seem to be able to live their own lives, that spend hours and hours and hours on a phone, that's not good.
I agree with you. I mean, I have some mixed thoughts about social media myself, and I don't go on it as much. My mom kind of takes over my social media because she has definitely taught me the consequences, and I don't want to fall into a deep hole realizing that I made a mistake. And I don't often use my phone as much. I do keep a time valid on what I use it with, sometimes for homework, sometimes for valuable reasons. And like you said, the suicide rates have definitely gone up, because at my school we've done Suicide Prevention Week quite a lot, and it's only been the 5-week mark, and they've given out cards and everything, and I'm realizing, wow, I mean, people could take their lives away this quickly, then we really need to put awareness to that. So I'm really glad that this film is definitely putting a meaning against what social media can do, both mentally, physically, to your feelings, and definitely brings awareness. And I thank this film for that. And congratulations on working with this. You did an amazing job. Thank you so much for speaking with me. It was amazing. And lastly, I'd like to know, how is it like working with Elizabeth and Isabella and Ryan?
Those are my girls. So it was great to work with them. Elizabeth knew exactly what she wanted. When she told me originally, before I think she'd even put pen to paper, she was going to write this, the passion that she had to tell this story was incredible. And the speed of which she pulled it all together was equally as amazing. And Isabella and Ryan are like sisters to me. So to watch those two come together and be on film, and again, in a film such as this that's so important, was just made me happy.
Oh, the bond you guys have must be very special. Thank you so much for speaking with me, Cindy. Make sure to go check out her amazing work she did at the short film Unseen. Stay tuned, and thank you.
Thank you. And remember, I'm Nathalia Jackson, from KidsFirst. And stay educated on this important topic and message. Thank you.